Today I'm going to try to draw this tree, I don't know what kind, doesn't matter, in Tavira, Portugal. And will this be the best drawing you've ever seen? Wow, I hope not. Jesus, go to a museum or something. But will it be the best drawing you'll see in the next few minutes? Maybe. I sure hope so. What am I even saying? Anyway, so I'm starting with the trunk. And if you watched Monday's video, you might be thinking, hey, this guy doesn't even follow his own advice. And yeah, maybe. But in that video, you might recall me saying that it depended on what? I don't know. I don't remember what I said. Who cares? I'm starting with the trunk today because this tree, unlike the palm tree, has foliage that is structurally reliant on its branches. Is that a stupid sentence? Probably. What I mean is that rather than having one big canopy with little leafy islands or whatever, this has something more like leafy little arms. And those arms have specific shapes. So without drawing them first, I'd have to kind of guess where each one would go and then draw the leaves in that empty space. I think that would be silly and a waste of time. Instead, I'm going to draw the trunk and I'm going to draw the branches, and intermittently, I'm going to leave some space for some leaves. I think that makes the most sense, and you're just going to have to go along with it because I can't hear you, and that's just the way it is. Okay, so at this point, you're probably thinking, wow, this is definitely not the best drawing I've ever seen, to which I'd say patience, because I agree. Right now, there's not much going on, and if I don't do something soon, this will be boring, among other things. I think a lot of the stuff that ultimately makes this drawing special comes later, because that's when I start to see what it needs. This is one of those drawings where I emphasize observation. That should obviously always be part of drawing from life, but sometimes with some references, it can feel unnecessary, like the scene is relatively straightforward. I never feel like that when it comes to trees, if the tree is the subject. There are way too many little things happening for me to ignore them, and if I want my drawing to be representative of what I see, which I do, well, I need to see it. With all that said, it might seem like my leaves are a little bit more apparent than usual, almost like I'm purposely going for a more symbolic take, and I understand why you might feel that way. They do look a lot more conspicuous, I guess you could say. But then if you really take a second to look at the tree, the leaves are, front and center. Their shapes, for the most part, are all pretty solid, and their size relative to the rest of the tree is actually quite large. Now, will I take this all the way and draw every single leaf? No, my hand would fall off and your eyes would fall out. So I can't do that, but I will try to draw many of them while implying as many more as I can. I don't want this to look too vague, so I'm really trying to put the work into the details. However, I am interested in creating a bit more of a stylized look with this one. I'm not going to approach it the way I did the palm tree from the other day or the mastic tree from Greece, which means I won't have those big bunches of shading within the canopy. I framed the tree this way on purpose because I liked this, backlit glow. The leaves are really lit up in the reference, and I didn't want to detract from that. So while there is shading here, I'll relegate it to the trunk and the branches while leaving the leaves to be a bit more light and airy. Also, if you're new to the channel, I'm learning to draw while traveling the world, and if that sounds freaking awesome to you, then please like and comment and subscribe and share this with all your internet friends. I would really appreciate it, especially the last part. If you're not new to this channel, you haven't already done all that stuff, why do you hate me? Tell me in the comments. So before I close this one out, you may have noticed that I used some specific hatching style here, and I'm not sure if I've done so before. Not like this. I was really careful to draw all of my lines with the shape of the tree. So as a branch curves one way, so too do the hatch marks. I think this gives it a really nice effect, suggesting both the texture of the bark and the relationship between light and dark. And this is another area where you can see some of that stylization I referred to showing up. The tree doesn't literally look like this, but because parts of it are so flat and in shadow, I wanted to liven it up as much as I can, and this seemed like a pretty good way to do that. Awesome. I'm really happy with this. Granted, there's some Dr. Seussness coming through, but I will obviously take it. I think a lot of things work well here, and the things that don't are things that I'm not sure I understand how to manage any better anyway. For one thing, the overarching shape of the canopy, I used some squiggly lines to imply it because I realized my solo leaves weren't really enough, and I'm not sure how else to deal with that right now. But anyway, yeah, I like this a lot, and I would love to know if this is the best drawing you've ever seen in the past few minutes on the internet, on my YouTube channel, in this video. Let me know. Anyway, I appreciate you for taking the time to watch this one, and I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks.